First and foremost, I want to start with the banger.
Banger, yeah, bring it on.
We can start with a banger. What's a belief about sleep or inflammation that would get you cancelled in a room full of traditional doctors?
Oof, yeah, good question. Well, sleep, I don't know, but inflammation is, I don't know if it would get me cancelled, but I know that a lot of doctors oppose this theory, and that is that lifestyle matters. So diet, sleep, basically what you don't eat, what you eat. I think that all these things matter, but there are a lot of doctors that say that's nonsense. Your lifestyle doesn't affect it at all. And here, take the medicine. That's all you need to do. So I don't know if it would get me canceled, but I know there are a lot of, doctors oppose this theory that you can affect inflammation.
So you're more opposed towards changes in lifestyle than changes in medicine. Just take an extra supplement or take an extra medicine.
Well, I don't oppose people taking the medicine, but I definitely think that you can contribute to lowering inflammation. So I never tell anyone to ignore their doctor or stop taking the medication they propose. But I also think that people should do some real work and investigate what's causing the inflammation, trying out different diets, eliminating things, adding things, trying to sleep better and so on. So I think that for me, overall health matters. I see health as a big puzzle, and like sleep, workout, all these things, there's small pieces of the puzzle. And of course, within sleep, there are different kinds of puzzles and so on. And that's how I think people should view their health.
Mm-hmm.
I think inflammation is not an on-off button. It's not, I ate this and now I have chronic inflammation or whatever it is. There are many things affecting inflammation. There are many things affecting your overall health. Inflammation contributes to so many diseases, cancer, cardiovascular diseases. There's inflammation, and this is like everybody agrees on this, that chronic inflammation is very bad for you. Inflammation is very necessary. You'll probably be dead without it. But chronic inflammation is bad. Everybody agrees on it.
Mm-hmm. And for the people who don't really specifically understand what inflammation is, can you briefly explain what do we see or identify as inflammation?
Yeah, so your body, let's say that you cut your finger or whatever it is, your body, your immune system reacts to it and sends, basically gets the immune system. You have the acute or sometimes I mix Swedish and English, but you have the acute immune system that reacts to this and it goes to fix it. And sometimes some things you need, the backup immune system to help out. But either way, when the wound is healed, your immune system is supposed to withdraw and leave. And this, if it's chronic, it just stays there and it doesn't go into repair mode. The immune system just keeps trying to fix it. And this can cause, if it's in the gut.
Mm-hmm. So it's also internal wounds. If you have eaten something bad or your joints hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And in my case, because I had Crohn's disease, it was that the immune system was reacting to something for a very long time and basically trying to fix something that didn't need to be fixed. And I studied genetics, and I know that there is a genetic component to this. I've read many genetic reports now, and I can see that people who complain about stomach issues, they usually have certain genetic variations. So clearly, but I also know from 10 years of research on my own body and talking to other people, you can definitely lower and raise inflammation by the way you live.
What are the risks or effects that come with inflammation? Too much inflammation?
Chronic inflammation. So I think it's related to basically any disease that you don't want to have. I mean, anything from cancer to cardiovascular diseases. I'm not exactly sure of all of them, but I know that it's basically any disease you don't want to have.
Can you square the circle? Because chronic inflammation is your immune system that try to fix something that's not there or it takes longer to fix. How can that lead to a disease like cancer? Or why is it important? Why are those two connected? Because I'm not as educated as you on a specific field. So I would love to hear how that works.
Yeah, that is a good question. And I wish I had a good answer for it. Most of my knowledge comes from 10 years of listening to Peter Attia, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, and so on. And it's one of those questions that I should have asked as well. Because I keep hearing, if you have chronic inflammation, it always contributes to these diseases. And I just know that it does from the information that I got from them, but I wouldn't know. I honestly don't know how it contributes to it. I know, for instance, in the gut, that it causes leaky gut and other problems, and that leads to certain things. Maybe it's not very clear how inflammation. Maybe I would have heard of it. I don't know how or how it causes different diseases, but I do know. So, for instance, 70 to 80% of your immune system is in the gut. And there's a thin layer between what's inside your gut and the immune system that is on the other side. And this lining gets not destroyed, but it gets
deteriorated.
Yeah, exactly. If you have chronic inflammation. So if you walk around with that too long, that lining, that it causes like the inside to go out to the immune system. So this is one thing that I would assume has causes other diseases. But then there's also there's got to be with cancer and so on. It's not just the immune system. I think there's been thousands of researches done that when you just like that they can see chronic inflammation levels has led to this patient also getting cancer and so on.
But regardless, you with your clients, you see inflammation, you help with lowering or
So most of the clients that I have are into health optimization. So it's not necessarily that I try to help people, just give them as much advice as I can on lowering and raising inflammation. But I don't go into treatments for people with IBD, chronic inflammation, and so on. I think for anyone who has that kind of a severe disease, they should go to a doctor and they should probably listen to a doctor. But if the doctor says, it doesn't matter what you eat, it doesn't matter how you sleep, your overall health doesn't matter, I think you should probably seek another doctor. Because I think that you can contribute together with the medicine. Absolutely.
Right. That's perfect. Then before we get nerdy, what problem are you actually trying to solve with your company, Get Body Data? And why did inflammation and sleep become your thing?
Yeah, inflammation is because I had a chronic disease. I had chronic inflammation in my intestines, in my smaller intestines. It's called Crohn's disease. So that was natural for me to investigate inflammation. But the problem I'm solving with Get Body Data is more energy and focus, because people, they can be tired, and being tired or have brain fog, not being able to focus, it can be so many things. Like you don't know if it's your hormones, you don't know if it's just low vitamin D or any micronutrient deficiency, low iron. I had low iron for a while, and also my ferritin was low, so basically my depots were depleted as well. And you walk around and you're tired. I mean, I cannot even begin to explain how tired you are. And you don't know it because it becomes your everyday. You just walk around with it and you're like, something is not right. And then you go to the doctor, they check your blood levels. And I was lucky because I had a doctor who gave me iron intravenously. I was like depleted. And the day after, it was like waking up and being Superman. I was like, wow, what was I walking around with? Like, this is insane. How can the difference be that big? But then I had a leaky gut, most likely. I had a bleeding internally. So I was losing blood. But it doesn't need to go that far before you do something about it. You can check and see, okay, let's say that your hormones are low. There are natural ways to raise testosterone. There's natural ways to increase iron. So we're basically trying to find out what people are deficient in and trying to help with plans and supplementation. So before you need to go to the doctor, try to fix it. So preventive care.
Does that come into, in the research for this episode, I did a lot of research, especially also to the American system. They have a annual physical, which is a physical examination, and they do their blood work, way less body blood markers and biomarkers and all of the sorts. But you can see your service as a sort of annual physical. Would that be right, as preventative?
Yeah. So the way we do now, like we do a genetic test, and a genetic test basically tells you how your body functions and what vitamin metabolisms aren't working as they should, or if there's anything you shouldn't eat in terms of like gluten, lactose. For instance, I had a G6PD variation in my genes, which is fava beans and legumes and so on can trigger anemia.
Oh.
And everybody always told me, yeah, you should eat more legumes, you should eat more fava beans, and you believe it. You believe the general advice, but I never felt good from it. But I was like, yeah, but it's good for me.
It's healthy.
Has to be, yeah, everybody says it's healthy. But then no, my genetics was like, you should definitely not eat this. So this is like, genetics tells you, basically it's a blueprint. It's an instruction manual for all the cells in your body to understand how to work, how to function. So we look at what functions aren't working as they should, and the blood test is more an actual screenshot of how your body is doing at this very moment. So if we measure liver markers, kidney markers, or hormone markers, or whatever, we can see if there's something that is not functioning as it should.
And I, as a 22-year-old, I feel fine. I feel strong. I wake up. I sleep well. Why would it still be important for someone like me? I'm into health optimization, so I already fall within the target audience. But why? How could you convince me to still see the importance of research like this?
Yeah, well, in your case, I mean, I know you a little bit, and
I'm also gonna stand. One second.
Yeah. I mean, I know you a little bit, and you tell me that you're healthy and so on. I think a blood test on you wouldn't necessarily be necessary. It wouldn't be necessary. I think a genetic test can be important because the information from a genetic test, you have the information for life. Your genes will never change. Your genes can be turned on and off. So by how you live.
By environment.
Yeah. Well, yeah, by your lifestyle and so on. So if you sleep poorly, some genes are turned on and off. If your methylation isn't working well, your genes are basically turned on and off. And methylation is decided by vitamin Bs and choline and so on. So you can definitely affect, your lifestyle definitely matters for your genetics to be switched on and off, but your genes will never change. So a genetic test, I think, makes sense to make. Yeah, just so you know, most likely I'm like the selenium gene isn't working well, or the B9, your MTHFR isn't working well, and so on.
And why would that be important for me to know? Because if my testosterone is good, that's all I care about. So that's joke. No, but then if I'm healthy, why would it still be important? What would be the value of me knowing what my selene gene works or doesn't work?
Yeah, well, in the future, or if you want to supplement in the future, I think the reason why I don't think that it's necessary with a blood test for you is because you're 22, you look like you're in great shape. Most likely there's nothing wrong with it. Like your body is functioning very well, I think so. And you seem very clear in the mind and you have a lot of energy. And people who are 22 are usually, unless they're sick, unless there's something wrong, like I don't know, mine started when I was 30, my Crohn's disease. And then you have, because you're sick, because you have the chronic inflammation, there's like other things that are affected. But I think in your case, you haven't been sick.
I've had Lyme disease in the past.
Oh, okay.
Fully recovered.
Yeah.
Weirdly, but I fully recovered.
How did you do a test for Lyme disease?
Yeah, I went to the hospital and the hospital couldn't find anything because they did my blood work and they couldn't find Lyme disease in there. And then I went to a private clinic somewhere, somewhat like you.
Yeah.
And then I went to a private clinic and they said, yeah, but in the hospital they can only screen for your blood, but not in a specific way, because Lyme disease is going to go into your red blood cells. So they saw my antibodies, but they didn't see Lyme disease. And then only when I went to a private clinic to do my blood work, they were like, yeah, but because we check more biomarkers, because we have a more extensive research, now we found your Lyme disease and this is what you have to do. And that was the only reason why I came off it fully, because if it were according to the hospital, I didn't have it.
Wow, interesting. And what was the treatment?
Before we get back to it, getting your blood work drawn and analyzed in the Netherlands is an absolute nightmare. We don't even have annual physicals. So how do you know how healthy you are? I didn't. I went to my GP and she wouldn't give me a blood test. That's why I went to a private clinic. I got my blood work drawn, I got my genetic testing done, and I even got personalized supplementation, NSF-certified, and with rigorous third-party testing. That means that effectively I could now partake in the Olympics because it's all allowed. Because of Get Body Data, I finally have insight on how my test levels are, what I can and can't eat, and other important biomarkers. I now know what I have and what I miss, what I should supplement and what I actually can't supplement. If you also want a comprehensive data set and get a once-in-a-lifetime amazing screening, you can now get 10% discount on the exact same package as I had with the code WIHP10 at getbodydata.com. That is getbodydata.com, WIHP10, to get 10% discount on all subscriptions, even the one that I took. I don't remember. It was 10 years ago. I was 12, but my mother, she was very concerned because I had massive rings around my eyes, and I also had rings like on tick bites and stuff, and I felt so tired. Shit. I had to nap like 3 times a day, and I was like, nah, it's puberty. Wasn't.
Yeah.
And that was, for me, was important with like private clinics and doing blood work.
Yeah. I mean, if you come up with symptoms like that, I think, yeah, definitely you need to, you need to go to the bottom of the case and, yeah, I don't know, just really investigate what's happening. And yeah, good that you didn't give up, that you went to a private clinic and so on.
But if my followers or your followers or whomever is listening to this, and you say, okay, it's important to come to a private clinic if X occurs. Do you say, if I want to optimize my health, if you have brain fog, or if you're tired, or if you're very energetic, or you can't get a hard on,
Yeah, so look, in your case, I would say like a blood test isn't necessary, and that is because you're in great shape, everything is functioning well, you say.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you still want to do it just for curiosity, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. Let's
definitely.
Yeah. So you want to see your testosterone. Also, it's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with getting data on your body, because if you keep getting data on your body from now until you're 35, you see changes, right? So if you suddenly see that your, I don't know, triglyceride spike, or that your testosterone is getting lower, then you can also, especially if you keep journaling or if you keep track of what you're doing, you can be like, I did this for a little while, or so you can kind of be on top of your health. So from that regard, I think getting data is super valuable. I mean, I got so much data on my body when I was sick. So I had 2 surgeries. After my second surgery, after the first one, I asked all the nurses, surgeons, doctors, I was like, what should I not eat? Like, what can I do to prevent this? And they all said the same thing. nothing matters. The only thing that matters is the medication. So I believed him the first time, and then it came back. And then for the second surgery, I was convinced, like, okay, I need to change the way I live. Like, it has to be a correlation. And there were other people saying it as well, just not doctors. So I bought a house by the sea in Sweden. And after my surgery, I went out there and I lived there for a whole year alone. And I was reading and I was writing and I was contemplating my life and just taking it easy. I had like 5 things I started eating in the beginning, and then I slowly added things, and I kept journaling of how I felt and what I ate, how it affected me, my focus, my energy levels, and so on. So I kind of really dug deep into what was causing the inflammation or what was causing me to not feel well. It doesn't always need to be inflammation and so on as well. Just like what caused me not to sleep well, maybe eating late or maybe. Yeah, so that's I loved getting data. I did intolerance test, IgG, IgE, that's antibodies, or that's like IgG, IgE. It's basically how can I not explain this better? It's basically the how your immune system reacts to IgE is mostly to like cats and so on, but like
allergic reactions,
exactly. Sorry. So allergic reactions, but it's mostly to animals and so on, but can also be a little bit to food. IgG is like the main antibody. The way, but anyway, so I did IgG test, IgE test, I did stool test, I did gut microbiome tests. If there was a test, I took it, and I did blood tests every 3 months. And I could see the adjustments that I made, that it affected the blood test, the blood markers. So for me, getting tests was always important because I could see from the data that I was improving. So that was through the blood markers. And I still take blood tests quite regularly. And I was just looking through like the past 10 years of blood tests, and I was looking through graphs and so on. And I think it's fun. I think it's fun to see that you're improving. And you don't need to be like a scientist or a doctor or whatever. You can everybody can see and understand graphs, and everybody can see the ranges and optimal ranges and so on. So it's if you want to gamify your health, I think getting data is a perfect way.
And if you don't only want to gamify your health, but if you have symptoms, why would people go to you?
Yeah.
If you and not because I don't understand all the terms. Like in real, I sometimes have brain fog. I don't sleep in one go, and sometimes I feel low energy. Like in symptoms like that, would I then go for you?
Yeah, I think that's a perfect person. That's a perfect way somebody can improve their health. I would do a genetic test. I would do a blood test. If you have some gut problems, or if you just feel annoyed in the gut, or if you just want to know more, we can also do a metagenome test, which is like a gut microbiome test. And then there's like 40 questions that I ask as well. And from there, I think we have a lot of data that we can improve. We can see, okay, your genetics says this, and this marker is low. So if you try to, eliminate these things, or if you try to improve your sleep by doing these things, you should definitely feel improved.
And the improvement, how would you feel them for people in real life if you had a list? So if you go, you take your blood, you take your genetic tests, you follow the supplementation, which we'll come to in a little second, you will feel...
Yeah, hopefully you will feel more energized, clearer, just a little bit better version of yourself, I would say.
But does it make a massive improvement or a good enough improvement?
Good enough. It also depends on from person to person. Of course. One of my clients, it's a couple. I could see in her blood markers that our efforts will most likely improve her a little bit more than him. Like he was I already saw from all the markers and from the questionnaire that he's doing quite well as well. So, and then the second blood draw we did, she improved more than him, and that was totally expected. So everybody, it's not like it will be massive improvements for everybody, but I do definitely think that it will be improvements. Just a thing like, okay, you don't know your vitamin D levels, right? Your vitamin D levels, you can do supplementation, but you can still be low. You can, and that has to
or
do
the
with
wrong supplementation.
the wrong supplementation. But like if we look at vitamin D specifically, vitamin D, how your body absorbs vitamin D has to do with magnesium as well. So if you're low in magnesium, your body isn't absorbing vitamin D as it should. And your genetics has a big factor in how you metabolize vitamin D, which is a hormone. It's not really a...
Really?
Yeah.
Vitamin D is a hormone?
Yeah. So it's... Yeah. How... And by the way, vitamin D, if you're low in vitamin D, it can cause other problems as well. For instance, I know that people who had COVID, people who were incarcerated, like people in prison, they were, well, that surely had to do with micronutrients, other micronutrients as well, but they were always low in vitamin D and their symptoms were always worse. So people with low vitamin D usually showed harsher symptoms from COVID. So vitamin D is a super important one. And if we can get that to a normal level, and you can supplement and you can think, yeah, well, I should be good, but maybe not. Or for instance, if you're doing a multivitamin and you think that you're getting enough vitamin B because it says it's 200% of daily recommendation, but then it's
you might not absorb
cyanocobalamin. Yeah, or it's exactly. It's cyanocobalamin, which if you have certain variations in your genes, your body won't be able to absorb it. So it's basically getting your micronutrients to a better level. And also you can see if you have like gut problems, then maybe turmeric and black pepper helps and so on. So it's just like, it's small tweaks, I would say. I don't want people to come to me and be like, oh, I have this major thing and I want you to solve it. No, that's not me. That's your doctor or somebody else.
We don't have a cancer cure.
No, absolutely not. I don't treat disease. No, absolutely not. I try to find out micronutrients and so on, and I try to correct that. So it's small adjustments, but that I hope these small adjustments will not lead to other problems. Because usually it's like a little... It's not your body isn't a house of cards. Your body's way stronger than that. But one deficiency can lead to other deficiencies and so on. Like I told you with magnesium, if your magnesium intercellular is low, then most likely you're not getting enough vitamin D as well.
Or you can process it. Well, that's super interesting because I'm extremely susceptible for TikTok trends on vitamins. So I'm really the guy, I really try to optimize my health. So I take maca, astaxanthin, so the algae stuff, zinc, magnesium, L-theanine, GABA, all the trends. I do it. I take my electrolytes every morning. I drink enough water, I sleep, etc. But some of them might not help, or some of them I might not be able to receive in the right way. So would it be better to follow all the TikTok trends? Would it be better to get a comprehensive view on my body of what works, what doesn't work? Do you say, no, you can just experiment, see what works? What's your advice?
Yeah, so my thing is definitely get body data.
Okay,
right?
Yeah,
get body data.
Yeah, sure.
A genetic test will tell you, for instance, there's a gene called the MTHFR gene. It's basically how you metabolize vitamin B9. Which is super important for methylation and so on. And you always inherit one allele from your dad and one from your mom. And if both alleles are alleles that you shouldn't have for the MTHFR to work well or to function well, then most likely you need to supplement with active methylfolate.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so you can supplement like many of the B9 supplements that are in multivitamins, they don't care what form of B9 or B12 or B6 there is in the because they just want the cheapest version Many of them, not all of them.
So there's differences within vitamins?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. So there's like 4 different kinds of B12s. There's different kinds of B9 and so on. But depending on your genetics, you like some of them will definitely not help you, or they might help you just like a little bit. But if you take the right form, then it will help you. So these are the things that I think, it's just because you only need to do it once.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good investment for everybody to make a genetic test.
Well, because it's a good investment for everybody to make, I really wanted to do this already for a longer time. Before I met you, I was already thinking about it. And I was thinking about Function Health, which is in America, which doesn't do their blood work here. So I was already looking for substitutes. And I thought, well, that's a great price because they charge like $4.99. But then I found out that if you want to do things like Alzheimer risk, Lyme, heavy metals, food and indoor allergies, etc., eventually per test, you go up to like 2,500 euros per test.
Yeah. So
are there hidden costs with you or?
No. So with me, there's no hidden cost.
What service do you deliver?
Yeah. So let me just explain a little bit why it keeps increasing. I have 45 blood markers that I check for. Between 45 and 50, but and if you say, hey, I want to check XYZ, we add those markers to check that as well. But for every marker you pay, like I pay for every marker. And there are these companies, they're like, measure 32, get 32 insights, 32 markers. Some markers costs like 133 cents, so basically nothing. And other markers cost 40 euros. So depending on what you're adding in certain screenings, like I don't know about Lyme, what they need to, because I just
went to the website and saw the add-ons.
But so the lab, the company, Function Health, has to, for each marker they add on, they have to pay to check it as well. So that's why it keeps increasing. So if you want to check other things, they have to do extra. So it's extra cost for them. And it's totally fair that they have to add money, that you have to pay more. But then there's one thing that I think is really weird and strange. If you do a genetic test, basically your genetics, if you want me to explain a little bit about genetics as well, you basically have 3 billion base pairs of information going like AA, GG, CC, TT, and so on.
The helix.
Yeah, exactly, in the helix. And that's an instruction manual for all the functions in your body, like whether or not to produce an enzyme. They always code for something. And we look at 720,000 rows or 700,000 rows of information, and that gives us a lot of information about detoxification, how your body detoxes, how your gut operates, what vitamins you metabolize, how you handle stress, a lot of things. But what many companies do, and what I just think is wrong, because you already have the raw data, right? So I take your saliva, I have the information. But what many companies do that I don't like is they sell you certain packages like, okay, here is your basic DNA. And you're like, oh, great, I have this information now. And then they're like, oh, do you also want to know how your gut works? Well, that's another 100.
So they're upselling.
They're upselling, but I'm like, you already have the raw data and you already have the report. It's like one click and you get the report and it costs you nothing. Just give it to the client, So many companies do that. And so some people come to me and they're like, oh, it's like yours is way more expensive. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm giving you the whole thing, or I'm not doing the upselling shit or whatever. And I think another problem, one of the reasons why I started doing this from the beginning was a lot of people get the genetic test and then they read this thing that I just told you, like, yeah, you have an MTHFR variation.
Interesting.
And you're like, okay, what do I do with this? Like, and it's like, yeah, eat more kale. And you're like, okay, what?
I don't like kale.
Yeah, or it's just like, I don't know. It's most what I've understood from people when I talk to them. It was like this created zero value for me. So, but what I realized, because I had done the research for myself back in the days, like remember this is like 10 years ago, I did my first genetic test. I know, like it takes a lot of research to understand what this all means. but I've studied it as well. So I kind of interpret for people what it is. I give them the report, but I'm also explaining to people, hey, this means that. And if you have this, then you should do that. Or like I'm trying to be the bridge between the genetic test and the client. And I think people need it, because I think just getting the report can be overwhelming for people.
And then we get into the difficulties of, if you get your report and you get the information like this is what you need to supplement, you still don't know if you have the right supplement. Because if I need more vitamin D, for instance, I can go to Ethos Kruidvat or another supplement store, and I can get the wrong kind, or I cannot metabolize it, or I don't have the comprehensive understanding of magnesium, for instance.
Yeah. So there's different kinds of magnesiums, there's different kinds of zincs, and so on. And depending on your body type and your deficiencies, you need different things. Another big problem with just getting random supplement that you have no idea of what it is, if you can trust the brand or not, is that sometimes, if we continue on the vitamin D track, certain vitamin Ds can be 10 times the amount that says on the box, and some can be 10 times less. But vitamin D is actually one of those that you don't want to take too much supplementation.
Why not?
Because it can create problems.
Oh.
Yeah. I know there's been certain cases of mothers didn't know. They knew that the baby needs vitamin D.
Yes.
And then they made a smoothie or something for the baby. And then they thought let's just give the baby a lot. And then they there's these pipettes, and then they just basically gave them half the bottle or something. And then the kid has to go to the emergency room. And it's
really?
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I'm not saying if you take random vitamin D that it will happen to you, but if you do it for a long time,
you have to be careful.
Yeah, it's better to do it the right way. And the best supplementation advice that I can give is to look for third-party tested. And it's not an expensive thing that the company needs to do as well. I think it's a minimum of, if you're a supplement company, just do a third-party tested. It means that a third-party tests the ingredients to see if, is this what it's supposed to be? So if you can trust it a little bit more. All our ingredients are third-party tested and NSF-certified. And if NSF-certified is basically just another one of these regulatory
NSF-certified.
Yeah, it's basically for sports, because you have the...
In the Olympics, you can also only use NSF-certified.
Yeah. Because you obviously don't want to have a supplement and then they made it in the same batch as they did XYZ, and then you're caught for doping and you fought for something for 4 years and then or all your life. And
that would not be good. No. So if you go buy supplements, you want to have NSF certified third-party testing.
Third-party tested, I think. Yeah, that's if it just says third-party tested on the bottle, you can trust it way more.
And if I am not mistaken, your supplements, you also offer supplements. Yeah. So you do the blood test, you do the genetic test, and then from that data, you also do personalized supplementation.
Yeah. So that's basically the whole point of my way of supplementing, is that first we discover what you should have, and then we supplement. So instead of just guessing...
And then you're done. That's the whole... You don't need to get extra vitamins somewhere else. That's just everything that you need.
Everything that you need, but not omega-3.
Yeah.
So omega-3, I always give it on the side because you cannot really put it in the capsules if you want high quality. But that's basically everything that you need goes into one capsule. But maybe you should take 5 capsules. So instead of taking 15 different jars, we put all of them into 5 capsules. So you make 4 capsules or 6 capsules, or
I can imagine I take 10, 12, 15 a day with all the stuff, because astaxanthin I take 3 and maca I take 2, but then I don't know what the difference is between black root maca and normal maca and tonkat ali and stuff like that. Yeah. But I do not have to have the headache if I get the supplementation.
Exactly. So for people who travel, I think this is gold, because you get 1 pouch of 2 months supply or 1 month supply or whatever it becomes. And then you carry this pouch with you and you take, let's say, 5 capsules a day. And it contains the 14 ingredients that we think that you need. and you carry this pouch with you whenever you travel, and you don't need to pack with you the 14, 15 jars, and then every week put it in the dosette, and So it's, for me, I think that this is gold standard supplementation. This is, highest level of supplementation. I basically created this product for myself because I thought, like, before my daughter started school, I was traveling a lot, and I thought, this is a headache. Like, imagine if you just put all these supplements in one. And then also, I mean, we make sure that's because certain supplements, they counteract each other, or they fight for absorption and so on. So we put a lot of love into the formulations as well.
Well, I have tons of questions, but I don't have any specific things to go on that. It's amazing. I also travel a lot, and it's a big headache to keep all my jars and my bags and my powders and my pills and everything, which is the airport check-in is already a scam, but now you need to, because you have all the supplements that you need to take for somebody who wants to optimize their health. Would it help somebody like me? Or do you say only when you're like older? So people who want to optimize their health, we've already established that you don't like cure diseases, but everybody who wants to get just that little edge, who wants to get more out of their life, I can imagine that's mainly people who are like 50 years old. I'm 22. Is this something that I also should take, or something that makes my life easier?
I mean, I think in your case, I think you're in tip-top shape. I don't know your blood work.
I'm not, but there's headaches all the time. And
oh, really?
Yeah, sometimes, but that's all right.
I mean, look, it's also a curiosity thing, and it is like, and it's always about how much, like, what's your finances, because obviously this service costs, and as I said, like each blood marker, we have to pay for it as well. So if you have money and you're like, I don't want to buy a fucking new whatever it is, or it depends on how much money you have and if you're willing to spend it on health and so on. But I definitely think, in your case, I don't know, because you're in great shape. You're 22. Most likely, you don't have any deficiencies. You don't have any problems. But if you want to do it just to gather data and to like gamify your health for the next 20 years, then I think and you have money and you're like, why not? I wanna know more. Yeah, absolutely. And then if you still travel a lot, it definitely makes sense to put them in one capsule instead of buying 15 different jars and bringing it with you everywhere. Also, they are more expensive than regular supplements, but imagine for the lab, because you get your own completely unique formula. So the formula we create for you, nobody else is having it. Like, that's only for you. So the lab, every time they make your formula or a new formula, they have to clean out the whole thing and then start over again. So obviously it is a little bit more expensive.
I get it, but it's also better quality.
Yeah,
it's I know that the supplements that I take will work on my body. Yeah. Because we've done the research beforehand. And that's a little bit what I noticed with my TikTok-y trend following of anti-inflammation, anti-water, testosterone improving, stuff like that. It eventually still gets very expensive. I spend, I think, 150 euros a month on my electrolytes, on my maca, my multivitamin and everything. So if you really want, I really want to optimize my health, but I also think, well, I do not dare to say if there's only one life, but I do know that we are living at the moment and might as well make the best of it. I want to do that, and I want to feel the sharpest because I want to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
But it still costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it works because I was out of money and I haven't taken my supplements for like 2 weeks and I don't feel that worth.
Yeah.
And that makes me not question like, am I healthy or not? But it does make me question like, all the money that I spent, do those supplements actually work?
Yeah. Totally legit. I wish there was a way for us to get instant feedback on the supplements that you like, every week you could see, okay, I got these improvements, or I didn't take it for a week and these markers got lower, but it would just be a totally insane way of...
I do have that with GABA and maca.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you take GABA before sleep?
Yeah, and my mental clarity, my sleep, my sharpness, I do notice that, and maca just in the amount of energy that I have during the day.
And this is pure GABA. This is like
I don't know because it's not a third-party tested supplement.
No, but I mean like because there's like precursors and so on. But this is GABA because from what I've understood, the body has a hard time absorbing the GABA.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say that I don't know how much you usually take, but
25 milligrams a day.
Yeah, that it's.
I don't know if that much. That's the other problem. I don't know if it's much. I don't know how much I need. I might be overdosing on vitamin C a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, vitamin C overdosing can be, I don't know exactly what it does, but I do think that with vitamin Bs and vitamin Cs, unless you do it for a long time, I think it's quite okay because you pee most of it out.
Mm-hmm.
But vitamin D, for instance, you do not.
No. All right. That's good. What are the most prominent or the most common silent problems that people have? They don't get their genetics tested. They think they're fit and healthy, or they are convinced that having headaches all day is part of the routine, or not sleeping is part of the routine. But what are the most common silent problems?
Yeah, omega-3, low omega-3.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nobody eats that much salmon.
Nobody eats that much salmon, but also that's also one. And here again, I wish I had like clearer way of saying people who are low in omega-3 are experiencing more inflammation, more cardiovascular problems, and so on. It's a little bit like the inflammation, and also actually have higher inflammation. So people who are low in omega-3, and you can measure omega-3 with a blood test as well.
What are the symptoms that people that you see underlying? This might increase risk of inflammation, joint pain. Even joint pain, inflammation, higher risk of cardiovascular problems, and so on. But even depression. Yeah. So studies have shown that if you don't have enough omega-3, so they had I can't remember exactly the study, but they had two groups, and one of depressed people. One, they gave a very high doses of omega-3, and the other person the other group they gave antidepressants, and it basically had the same results from having omega-3 supplementations. I'm probably butchering the study a little bit here. But that's right.
We can find it, and
I can put it down below.
Yeah, and you would put it in the comments so so people can look it into themselves. Do you know Dr. Rhonda Patrick?
Yes, I do, and Peter Attia, and I'm familiar with the whole of health optimization.
Dr. Rhonda Patrick is probably the biggest advocate for supplementing with omega-3, and she gives it to her kids in high doses as well. And from after having listened a lot to Dr. Rhonda Patrick, I know that omega-3 is super important. So that's one. I think inflammation, that people just walk around with small, low-grade chronic inflammation. That is also.
How would you feel that? Because I still can't wrap my head around.
That's a little bit like, you're a little bit tired. You're not functioning 100.
Guilty.
But I thought you said that you were feeling great.
Yeah, I feel great, but sometimes I don't feel super energized all day, and I think it's part of the routine. So I'm gonna give a little slack there. If my recovery is low and I haven't slept enough and my HRV is a bit low, then I feel less energized.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's inflammation. Usually it is. Whoop says it is, but I don't know.
Whoop says it is.
Whoop says that there's things in your body that it's fighting, and that's why you have a lower HRV, because you cannot go to baseline rest easily. Yeah. And I sometimes have that.
Do you eat late at night?
No, I don't, because that had a massive impact on my sleep.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Eating late at night, right before sleep, or like an hour before sleep. Terrible. So I eat at 4 or 5, because then I sleep the best.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. I
think sleep is like one of the biggest cornerstones of health. It's the biggest pillar. I would say that people should improve.
Why? And how? We'll get to the how later. Why?
Yeah, why? So sleep affects everything in your body. And I'm talking about methylation, how you absorb micronutrients. There's basically anything in your, or even how you make choices, for instance. They had two groups, and another study here. There are two groups, and they sleep deprived one group, and then they sent them off to a buffet. Not only did the sleep deprived group eat more and like more calories, but they also chose the worst food. So like foods that are rich in salt, sugar, and so on. There's a lot of tests that have been done to youth who get to sleep 1 hour more. They have way better test results. People who sleep less have a harder time to recover. So there's so many things that I can go into of like different studies. If you want to know more about sleep, you should follow Matthew Walker. He's like the #1 sleep expert. There's a way of improving sleep, but we can first finish off with, and maybe it doesn't need to be 8 hours. It's more about the quality of sleep, but sleep is the biggest cornerstone of sleep because it affects everything else as well. It affects how you work out, how you recover, how you choose, certain foods and so on. And I can relate to that. Like if I slept shitty, I make worse choices, and then you make worse choices, and then another bad choice follows, and so on.
Being tired is not great.
No.
What is one thing people can do today without a blood or genetic test that will noticeably improve their life?
Yeah, I would say
for sleep and inflammation.
Okay, yeah. So if we go to sleep, regularity is the biggest key. Try to have a routine of how, not only just when you go to bed, but also a routine before. So, for instance, if you try to be asleep at 10:30, maybe you have a routine that at 9 you turn off all the lights from above because you have different sensors in your eye that catches eyes, and it just like prolong daylight. If your body thinks it's day, it will postpone the deep sleep. So let's say that you were watching your phone just before you went to bed. You put too much blue light in your eyes, and your deep sleep will not go into deep sleep as you should. So basically, like, try to build a routine that you can follow. So I don't know, turn off your lights at 9, start reading at 9:30, or like calm yourself down, have some kind of breath work, whatever you want to do. Just make sure that you have a routine and that you follow it, and that like you always go to bed at the same time. I think it's super important. That's one of the most important ones. No blue light at least an hour before.
These are blue light glasses.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But you shouldn't have them on during the day.
No, but they also help my eyes. So that's a little bit of both.
Okay. And so when you wake up, the first thing you should do is try to get sunlight into your eyes. Sunlight into your eyes tells your body that, okay, the day has started. It's time for the organs to start. It's time for everything to start going. Your adenosine starts building up in your body. And you can, like, adenosine is basically like a pressure cooker. It just gets too much. It just gets more and more and more. And then in the evening, when you have a lot of it, you just basically crash and you fall asleep. So naps, some people, they love naps, they love doing it and think it's okay. But if it interferes with your evening sleep, you should maybe rethink it. There's this thing called yoga nidra. It's basically somebody, I like yoga nidra together with some white noise.
Mm-hmm.
Basically scanning through your body, and it's like some breath work as well in there. There's a lot of different NSF.
So cool down at the
that basically lowers your entire nervous system, what else? Yeah, actually try to get so there's different colors of the lights, right? So you have blue light in the mornings and so on. You try to get that light into your eyes, but also in the evening, if you could try to get sunset. So because that light has a different color and it signals your body, okay, it's time to wind down and go to bed.
Which is like 4 p.m. here in the Netherlands.
What else? Yeah, like you said, no food 4 hours before.
4 hours?
Yeah, I would say 4 hours before, stop eating. Have your last meal. What else? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Temperature is super important.
Temperature.
Yeah. So the colder the room, the better you sleep. In almost all cases, the colder, the better. The darker, the better. So my bedroom is in the basement and it's so cold and I sleep very well because I just want to get under the blanket and be like, just cuddle up. It makes it hard to wake up because it's so cold. So that I think is, those are important sleep keys. For inflammation, I think a really good one is to, first of all, try to avoid like French fries at McDonald's or, I don't know, any kind of like French fries in a big chain or in a restaurant. Because imagine that oil, it's vegetable oils. Most likely it's not organic or cold pressed or anything. So it's the process of making the vegetable oil is not great. Gary Brecka has a really good video about that if people want to see how those vegetable oils are made.
You should make some videos like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And true.
Get it firsthand from the source.
Yeah, true. And then they're heated and then they're cooled down and then they're reheated and then they're cooled down and they're reheated. And there's many studies showing that this causes inflammation.
So no fried food.
I would probably suggest avoid deep fried food. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then processed food. So the oil stuff is not as proven as processed food. I think if it's one thing that everybody should stop doing is processed food. Processed food being like sausage, bacon, and so on. Any kind of like ham and so on that you see is probably really bad for you.
Chicken nuggets.
Yeah, probably the worst thing you could eat. Yeah, I wonder how much chicken is in those chicken nuggets. But
probably not that much. They're just so no.
Yeah.
All right. I don't hear you say anything about sauna, cold plunge, cold shower. Anything. Breath work, journaling were good things.
Breath work. I think journaling is key. It's major. That's how I started connecting with my body. So after my disease, when I was out there in the house for a year, I started connecting with my body. I was super aware of how I was feeling with the things I was doing, with the things I was eating, with the things I was avoiding, with working out and so on. By the way, workout is great against inflammation as well.
Workout?
Yeah. Workout.
What specifically? Go to the gym, lift heavy weights? Do you fight? Do you run?
I would assume, this is just an assumption, but I would assume that cardio would be the best against inflammation. But I do think that any kind of workout helps as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, train.
Yeah.
Movement.
So workout. So where was I before So
you were in Sweden,
I was in the house. I was connecting with my body and I was always journaling how I felt from what I was doing. The journaling part, maybe you don't always need to go through it as well. You don't need to read through and be like, hey, like what was the patterns here? I ate this and I felt like that. But just by writing it down, you remember it in a completely different way. So I was always journaling of what I ate, how I felt, how my energy levels were, how my focus was. And if I was experimenting with diets and so on, I would do it even more carefully. So I definitely recommend everybody to start journaling. Sauna, great way to reduce inflammation. Cold plunge, I don't know how much research there is regarding cold plunge. I think it's good. I know Brian Johnson did a video recently. I saw a video where he was going to, he did sauna he did a lot of sauna and they measured microplastics in his balls and they noticed quite a significant reduction in microplastics.
Because of sauna?
Balls. Because of sauna, yeah.
Well, I know what I'm going to do this afternoon.
Yeah, so, you should actually ice your balls a little bit.
Yeah, and you were talking about vitamin D. Do you should also sun your balls?
Sun your balls.
Yeah, it's a fitness trend at the
Really?
moment to tan your balls in the sun. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this comes from Liver King, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you have all these guys legs spread on the balcony. Yeah,
It's a horrific sight for the neighbors.
Yeah, okay. So sauna is good for microplastics.
Yeah, but one thing I would do, like if you're worried about testosterone and so on. So if you can, I mean, of course, not everybody can do it, but
Everybody wants to optimize their testosterone. Come on.
yeah, no, but I mean, if you have the possibility to also bring in like ice and put ice under your balls.
Sure.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
remember because I was a member.
Write that down.
Yeah, I was a member of David Lloyd, and they had ice outside the sauna, and I would always like grab a fistful and like put it in my underwear and go in a sauna.
Would a cold plunge or a cold shower work the same? Because effectively the cold water dripples down.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely should help, but I think it's better to just not let the balls heat up
All right.
to that level.
And now we're talking quite long about balls, which is interesting. Balls, they produce the testosterone.
Yeah.
Why is it important to watch your testosterone? Is it important?
Yeah, I mean,
Why?
well,
I know who, but
as we grow older, I think how would you describe this? But it's probably what separates older men from younger men the most is the level of testosterone. It influences recovery, it influences muscle growth, influences energy levels and so on. So
ice your balls.
ice your balls, but there's a lot of different ways you can raise your testosterone as well.
And you can help with that too. Because I think most people in fitness want to recover faster. We want to feel sharper, fitter, and testosterone. I know testosterone has an importance in that. That's why I take maca. That's why I take tonkadali. That's why zinc.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the things you can do. You can also have more sex with your partner.
Great option. Always write that down.
Always.
For people that don't have a partner, because those are also walking around there with blue balls. You should ice them too.
Yeah.
Okay, so more sex.
But workout as well.
Workout.
Yeah.
Morning or evening?
Yeah, good question. I think it depends on your system and what you prefer. But I think you do have the most testosterone in the morning. So you probably have, like, I would assume that working out in the morning should be better for you.
Mm-hmm.
However, I am the clearest in the morning as well. So then I have to...
I'm the most productive in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. So I have to be like, okay, my best periods, do I want to work out or do I want to put it into work? You know, some days maybe you can work out in the morning and then...
There are no solutions, only compromises.
Yeah. I personally like to work in the morning as much as I can until I feel like, okay, I really need a rest. And then I do the workout. It's a perfect break.
That's I do it the same way, effectively. Once we're talking about hormones anyways, I'm too young. I don't want to start. We were talking about it beforehand already a little bit. TRT, stuff like that, that's out of the picture still. I hope that my hormones are still good. Yet I do want to do a blood test because I don't know. And we see that testosterone levels are dropping and same as like sperm count is dropping in young males. So I do want to watch my testosterone, which is why I want to do the blood test. I'm not going to start like supplementing hormones. But one thing that I am very interested in is peptides.
Yeah.
So I have had many major accidents, but physical major accidents with full tears of the bone, with broken bones, with discs, all stuff like that, which is why I'm interested in peptides like BPC 157, TB 500, because I constantly have like neck pain and back pain and stuff like that. Can supplementation supplement or substitute that?
I know very little about BP 157 and different kind of peptides. I honestly know too little about it to make a comment about it. I've heard other people swear by it and say that it's like, you know, that it helps them recover so much better and so on. But I know too little about it and I haven't tested it myself either.
If I were to to experiment with peptides? Would it be better if I do my blood work before and afterwards to see if it has impact?
It would definitely be interesting.
It would definitely be interesting.
Yeah,
that's an experiment I would like to run. That I would like to run.
I mean, for me, I think, why not experiment? That's how I always.
The same.
Why not get data, experiment, gamify your health a little bit?
As long as it doesn't shrink my balls. So testosterone, GHG, stuff like that, I'm not touching.
No, and I measure my testosterone quite regularly, and I would not do TRT yet, but in the future for sure. Yeah, I think
everybody over the age of.
Yeah, but I know there are some 60-year-olds that still have good testosterone and so on.
What are numbers? Good testosterone numbers?
Yeah, good question.
It depends per person, of course.
Yeah, and age as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
And then there's free testosterone, and there's other markers as well. Yeah.
What are the top 3 metrics that you want everybody to know about their body?
Yeah, vitamin D levels.
Vitamin D.
I like an omega index. And would I say B9, especially if you're pregnant or trying to get pregnant? Yeah, B9 maybe.
All right.
Yeah, but it's very hard to say. There's many things that I would like to know. But if it's 3 that I would just say on top of my head, I would say.
And effectively, everybody get your health checked at least once and then know about your body.
Yeah, I don't know how it is here in Holland. In Sweden, we would always do like a regular checkup at least once a year with a full blood test. And
never here.
Never here.
No, Berk, who's sitting there, he has done his blood work as well. Maybe you can. He brings it up after this, but he also went to a private clinic, if I'm not mistaken. Berk, yeah, private clinic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can ask your doctor, but the Dutch healthcare system is not great in hormone levels. If I go to my doctor and I'm like, I really want to have my hormone levels tested because I feel I have to exaggerate and say like, I don't want to live anymore if I don't have my test taken, only then they do it. And for women, which I personally think it's even more important to have more comprehensive data. And the Dutch healthcare system is not great for women, and they don't have their hormones tested. They don't have their genetics tested. So, I think there you can hit me with a shovel, and there's probably a bigger dent in the shovel than in me. But
I wonder why that is. I wonder why they're so opposed to people getting a blood test.
Yeah, I also don't know, because it's very hard to supplement and sell medicine for it, I think.
But it's,
because a doctor cannot prescribe personalized medicine, or vitamins or minerals. Or
no,
like
that's true. Yeah.
So I think this is a perfect niche that you come into. Everybody get their health checked, get their genetic tested at least once, get comprehensive data on your body, and then proceed from there.
Yeah,
and then you can do either regular checkups or not.
Yeah, I mean, again, just go back a little bit. These are all small pieces of information, small pieces of the big puzzle that is health.
Mm-hmm.
That if you know, it's just better to have knowledge than not to have knowledge, So sorry, you asked if I do follow-ups.
Yes.
But so if somebody shows that this is medical intervention, then I'm out. Then but
then you have also a reason to go to the doctor.
Yes, I tell people. So there was like one woman recently. She did a blood test. She was very low in iron, and also her ferritin was low, so her depose was low. And I was like, no wonder you're this tired. Go to your GP. Tell him or her like, hey, it's very clearly this is from like a professional lab. We did a blood test, and I'm low in iron, and I'm very tired. It took her, I think, like 4 months to get any help.
Yeah, the Dutch healthcare system, in terms of that, it's not great, and especially not for women.
But I would be, if I was a doctor, maybe it's because I've been low in iron. I know how you feel. It's
terrible.
I would definitely try to fix that as soon as possible. And I know everybody I talk to who've had low iron and then got iron intravenously. I mean, the difference is you cannot even compare it. It's day and night. It's like waking up and being Superman.
Yeah, I had in research for the episode, I also looked at some videos of people who had their everything tested, and I saw one video, I can't find the name here. Bob Sharp, he did a big test at Function. He got 5 supplements. He took the 5 supplements, and he was like, I am not the same person as I was before starting with the personalized supplementation.
Yeah.
It was like, I did not know that a way of living like this was possible.
Yeah.
So that's, well, shout out to him. Let's bring this one into land. Where can people find you?
Getbodydata.com.
Mm-hmm.
The Instagram is also getbodydata.
Mm-hmm. I will post everything below.
Thank you so much. The Instagram is not happening a lot, but I will be more active and I will try to share more of my knowledge. I think in terms of, because it's been 10-15 years of me gathering a lot of knowledge, and I do want to share that.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear more from you, because the health optimization is, especially in my generation, a big thing.
Thank you so much. And I'm not a doctor. I've studied genetics, biochemistry, and immunology at Harvard, but I'm not a doctor. And because I'm not a doctor, I've always felt like, I don't have a right to express myself in
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, but then everybody's like, "What are you talking about? Like you're building a bridge between us," and because a lot of the information we hear is just too complex for us.
It is,
and you're breaking it down in an easy way, or easy digestible way for us. So please share it. So I will share it from now on. The YouTube is also Get Body Data. I do have some videos that I made earlier.
Yeah, this one I can send. You can put up there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this a lot, and I appreciate you a lot.
It's a pleasure. Likewise. All right, we'll keep you posted. I definitely want to do my blood test and my genetic test. So about that, more is going to come.
I brought with me actually a genetic test. Perfect. We'll do it. It's just like a super simple. Let me just show people. You just basically fill this with saliva, and we send it to the lab. And 3 to 4 weeks later, people have their results with a report and a plan, and some help from me as well.
Perfect. I'll link the data. I'll link the website. Everybody check it out, and we'll check back in shortly.
Thank you so much.